and smile, 'cause it's been a while. It's been like a whole day since I stopped so you could hold me. But this child awaits, strong in the faith. Lord, you are the refuge that I can't wait to get to, 'cause I can't let a day go, can't let a day go by without thanking you for the joy that you bring to my life. And ooh, there's something about the way your sun shines on my face. It's a love so true, I can never get enough of you. This feeling can't be wrong. I'm about to get my worship on. Take me away. It's a beautiful day. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It is a great day to be alive. I'm excited. I'm just in awe of what God is doing, but more importantly, I'm excited about your future. I've heard your emails, I received some of your text messages, and you all have encouraged me to keep the faith because of what we're doing here on Tammie Nichols TV. And so I want to just say thank you. Thank you for watching us. Thank you for praying for us. Thank you for being guests faithfully over the 12 years. Thank you for just the sponsorships. Thank you for being a part of the journey of what God has given me here. But today, it's not about me. Have you ever just looked in the mirror and said, there has to be more? I don't like the person that I'm looking at. So that means that you have to change in order for change to come, or be the change that you're looking for. My guest on today, he's not a stranger. You all have seen him here once before, telling us about how to build your credit and get in position to prosper. But today, he's being real, transparent, and candid about his previous life. Man in the mirror, Elder James Triplett. Thank you so very much for joining me on today. You know, I knew when they saw your face, they were like, let me get my notebook. Because I know you're going to tell us about how to prosper, you know, and do our credit and how to position ourselves. But today, you're on a different mission.
Yeah.
You actually come to help some, not only brothers out, but some women as well, to take a look in the mirror and make that change.
Mm-hmm.
And so congratulations on you and your wife being, of course, authors in the book Garbage Stores, Dr. Veronica Outlaw.
Yeah.
But it's just amazing how God works. Did you ever see yourself like releasing and publishing a book?
Never knew that it was going to happen, but first and foremost, I want to thank my wife, because now she has the most influence over me.
Amen.
So if I'm high and enraged, call the toy.
Amen.
Yeah, she has the most influence over me, because, but she is the reason that I wrote.
Amen.
Yeah. So I thank God for her.
Amen.
Yeah.
Was it an easy process?
As far as writing, no,
Mm-hmm.
it was not at all. A lot of tears.
Yeah.
I think I cried the whole time I wrote.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's when you know the healing is really, going to be a part of somebody else's journey. If it touches you first, imagine what the viewers, what the readers are going to think. And your subtitle, The Journey from Brokenness to Victory.
Mm-hmm.
You were broken. You weren't always, as we see, the man of God, the elder in the church, that's exhorting, that's telling people that God is faithful. You were actually a part of what we call the world,
Mm-hmm.
the streets. Tell us about the backstory and just how you journeyed from where you are now to back then.
Well, so I have to start when I was a child.
Mm-hmm.
It got to go from there. Some of the brutal things that I saw just as a little boy, and some of the deep, dark secrets. So when I talk about the man in the mirror, first thing is first, I got to start from yesterday.
Wow.
And my yesterday is when I was a child.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just didn't understand when I was 18, 19, some of the things that I just didn't have, and I just didn't understand life.
Yeah.
So the person that I was, I truly wasn't that person.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a lost, bruised, battered.
Mm-hmm.
I seen a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I seen my mama go through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually saw blood. I've saw
Yeah.
close to death. I've seen it all just from a child.
Abuse. Mm-hmm.
So 9 years old, remember hearing the words from my stepfather saying that now you got to be the man of the house.
Yeah.
And I took that to heart.
Yeah.
And so my childhood was gone, because I just couldn't stand to see my mom struggle.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't stand to see, my brothers and sisters live without. We lived
How
in
many
the car.
brothers and sisters would you have?
Biological, from my mom's side, it's 4 of us.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time when I was a child, it was just 3 of us.
Okay.
So we lived homeless.
Mm-hmm.
We lived in a car. We lived, house to house. In a house once upon a time where there was just a hole in the floor.
Yeah.
So I had to start there.
Mm-hmm.
And so me being 9 years old, trying to be the man of the house, I started working in woods, logging, just to get a $50 paycheck to try to help my mom out.
Yeah.
So I missed my childhood. I didn't get to see that. And so I think one of the scriptures that I shared in there with Paul. Paul said, when I was a child, I spake as a child. But when I came a man, I put away childish ways. But the problem was when I was a man by law or 21, I still was a child.
Wow.
And one of my great friends, you had it, is Pastor Mike Jones. He said, you're going to have to learn how to chastise that child.
Jesus.
Yeah.
When he told you that, what instantly came to your mind? Because now you're a man, but you're still doing childish things. So that means get your house in order.
Yeah, and I didn't know how to chastise myself. Myself had his way.
Yeah. What did you find yourself doing? Because it's like you didn't have a child. You had to become a man. Even to hear at 9 years old that now you have to be the man, that's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
You know, that's a lot that you have to take. And what do I do? You know, and to see your mother struggle and go through, I'm sure that was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
You know, tears flowing. And like most mothers, when they can't provide, it does something to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it breaks you more than anything. And you know that they love you, but they just are doing the best that they can do at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you do to try to help other than the law? Did you find yourself on a path that you never thought you would be on?
Yeah, well, like I said, when I was a child, I tried to be that man for my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't get to experience what some other children would experience. So, you know, trying to be there, trying to make sure we had, you know, running water, trying to make sure the lights was on.
As a child.
Just as a child, just trying to do whatever I could to help my mom out. And so as I got older and I got out, 18, now I'm living my childish days.
Wow.
So now I'm getting to experience things like that I never saw. Because at 9 years old, I couldn't see that. All I could see was trying to imagine how to be a man of the house.
Yeah.
And so when I became 18, I was like, wow, I'm free. I ain't got to do that.
What was the first thing that you like at liberty to say, I'm out of here? What's the first thing you tried?
First thing that, honestly, I just started buying shoes.
Wow.
Every Friday I buy new shoes because that's something that we didn't have.
My God.
Every Friday, I just buy shoes. And I know that was a start of something, but it was just, I didn't have it.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, just still being lost, bruised. Then I'm still trying to be that man because at the time I had my girlfriend Latoya at the time. She's my wife now.
Amen.
So I'm still trying to provide for her. So it was a lot of mixed emotions. So, you know, I'm still trying to that childish thing, you know, I'm still trying to fulfill that kid. At the same time, like, I want to be a man, I want to provide, but I don't know how.
You don't know how.
Ain't nobody taught me that.
Wow.
Yeah, ain't nobody taught me that. So
and life has a way, when you don't know, life has a way of introducing you, showing you, and you learn the hard way.
Yeah. Through, you know, one of the things was, man, I had a repeat failure. Repeat failure. Went to school because I was going to make my mama proud. I dropped out of school. You know, I was like, well, shoot, I'll go to the Army. I went to the Army. You know, I got hooked up with some friends that taught me how to drink on another level. And that became an addiction. And so I just knew that I was going to finish in the Army 20 years.
Wow.
But then that changed.
What happened?
So I'm back home. I got medical, I got hurt. So now I'm back in Mississippi, the place that I'm trying to run from.
My God.
I'm running. And at the same time, now I got a wife. You know, I'm still trying to be that man that can provide. But I still got a lot of child in me. So now I become angry. I'm angry at myself. I'm angry at everybody. I'm angry at my dad. I'm angry at my mama. I'm just angry now.
So you're angry plus drinking.
Plus drinking.
Which makes it worse.
Yeah. It's to the point where I'm ready to, hey, you know what? I'm ready to end it all. 22 years old. I'm just ready to end it all now.
Wow.
Because it just felt like I got to a place in life where it was too much. Too much pressure.
Did you not feel during that moment that there was a man that you could reach out to, talk to, or communicate during that time? Or was it like, you know, a sense of pride, like, I don't want to share this with anybody?
No, you know, I just knew I didn't want to be anything like, I love my uncles. I love my uncles. Man, I'm probably one of the favorite nephews. But I knew that it was more to life. And there was a stigma on me already from, even with my wife. I used to tell her, you don't marry him.
Wow.
He's gonna be like his uncles.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want that. I knew I wasn't that person. I knew that I had a heart to love. I knew that.
Yeah.
I knew that. So I was like, I used to pray. Well, I didn't pray, but I used to try to search for a father figure.
Yeah.
So I was on the search.
Mm-hmm.
I was on the search for a father figure. But every person that I ended up taught me bad habits. They just continued to talk me. But then I got laid off when I come back to Mississippi in 2013. I got laid off.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew I was called to preach when I was 14. I heard the calls when I was 14. And then I just ran because I didn't have nobody to really mold me.
Mm-hmm.
But then 2013, I got laid off. 2013, I got laid off, somewhere around there. And God, I spoke and I said, God, if you place a person in my life that'll help me get closer to you, and I'll serve you.
And I just believe with everything in me that your wife played a vital role in that.
Oh, yeah.
Because she was serving faithfully. She was going to church. But you, on the other hand, and I hope I read this, and you just, I don't want to be a part of it.
No. I remember telling my wife one time, I was so mean.
Mm-hmm.
Don't look like it.
Mm-hmm.
I was mean.
Mm-hmm.
I was mean as a junkyard dog. No, I don't mind telling nobody.
Yeah.
But
Help somebody out today.
She would tell me, I curse.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think nobody could beat me in cursing. Because that's what I heard growing up.
Yeah.
I knew how to put words together that you probably don't, you didn't know exist. But I knew how to do it.
Yeah.
But I used those words to hurt her.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me one day, she said, I'm going to pray that cursing and that drinking out of you. And I told her, I said, you and what God?
My God.
You and what God going to do?
Mm.
Because I'm here. This is me.
Jesus.
And I began to, things began to change in my life. God allowed me to have an out-of-body experience. To be able to take myself and look at another young man, and I saw myself, and I'm like, man, that ain't it.
Yeah.
So when that layoff experience happened, I knew then. I said, God, if you place that person in my life that'll help me chase after you, I'll serve. And I remember going to church one Sunday.
You have to tell the name of the church.
Peter's Rock.
There you go.
You know it. I went to church, and I wasn't saved. I was sitting in there, and Pastor Hawkins came down and he tapped me on the shoulder and said, I want to see you after church. I didn't really know Pastor Hawkins like that.
Wow.
I looked at my wife.
What you told her.
What you don't want to say it now? That's all I'm thinking.
Yeah.
After service, he told me, he said, hey, I want you to be with me. I want you to help serve.
Mm-hmm.
Become my adjutant.
God answered your prayer.
Answer my prayer.
Mm-hmm.
But I got caught up.
Yeah.
Because I'm still looking for that father figure. I got caught up. But I remember one sermon, Pastor Preacher said, exonerate them.
Oh my God.
So at that moment, he taught about exonerating the people that you've been holding on to that have hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to exonerate my father. I exonerated my mother because that was my first hurt.
Wow.
It was my mom.
Yeah.
So I exonerated my mom. And then when I did that, God said, now I'm going to reform.
I hear abandonment. Did you feel abandoned?
Yeah.
By your mom or your dad? Because that's what I keep hearing.
Yeah, I was, before my mom passed away, that's what I told her. And I get emotional, but I told my mom, I said, I felt like you left me out dry.
Yeah.
I feel like, because, man, there was times when my mom left me at home and I seen my brothers and sisters and they had a father.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I can take all of it right now.
Yeah.
That was, I didn't know where that was coming from.
Yeah.
But I felt left alone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, nobody really to run to, nobody to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I told her that. But me and her came to peace. And felt lonely.
It's amazing how, and you know what I want to say this, it's okay to cry.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that we as a people have to understand, that me and her too, and I keep hearing that, but we have to be able to allow you all to heal as God, takes you through the process. Because before she died, you were able to express that to her. And if I'm not mistaken, Trill, you actually had to utilize the eulogy
Yeah, my mom did.
for your mom's funeral.
Yeah.
Which means that it was an opportunity for people to see how God had healed, delivered, set you free, healed your heart, and you were not what they said that you were going to be like your uncle. They were, like, wait a minute, who did this? Nobody but Jesus. Jesus, saves, and you were able to bring people to Christ.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I think 14 people were saved at my mama's funeral.
Amen.
14.
That's just amazing how God just used you in that moment. But you had to make peace with her before she left.
Mm-hmm.
The release.
Yep. And my mama was my heart though, you
Yeah.
know. But that was that. And it wasn't I started reflecting, man. My mama was a child raising a child.
Mm-hmm.
It was, man, stuff happened to her.
Yeah.
So, and I learned that. And so it just helped me.
Yeah.
It helped me.
And that's the thing, we have to be able to understand they did the best that they could do with what they had.
Mm-hmm.
And once you sit down and have conversation with mama, grandma, you understand that it wasn't their fault. Because some of those things were generational. You broke the generational curse.
Mm-hmm.
It stopped with you, although they said you were going to be as like them. But you said, God help me, send somebody in my, you were crying out, you probably know what you were doing.
Mm-hmm.
You said, I ain't praying, but God saw your heart. It was sincere. Even with your dad, because there were some moments where, and I don't want to tell the entire story, where it was a little,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, it was friction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a lot of animosity and some technical difficulties in there.
Yeah. And me and my dad, and he was young too, but me and my dad have a great relationship now.
Amen.
And I love that dude.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a part of him.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
I'm his firstborn.
Mm-hmm.
But just growing up, I'm still lost and confused.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the answers. And they just really weren't taught. That generation wasn't taught to really come out and express themselves like that. There was things that they lived by, from that other generation. So I understand that now.
And their expression of love was to work.
To work.
Work.
Yeah.
That, very rarely, if, you hear them say, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
Or, hey, boy, come give me a hug. You may get it now because people do it, but back then, it was like, I work, I provide a roof, I give you food, I'm here for you. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
There was expression. So you have to understand the time and what they were taught. And now we have to be able to just forgive them for what they didn't do. Yeah. And what I love so much about it, you're not the only one. Mm-hmm. There's some men that are watching that you are aspiring right now to get it together. Yeah. And so I have to pause to say, encourage them right now to go to that person, ask for forgiveness, and make it right. Yeah. Because time is of the essence right now.
Yeah, you can't see your future. You can't see the real potential until you can go make it right.
Amen.
And it takes a real, I don't want to say real man, because a real man is his analogy. Yeah. Is who he is. And so if I often say this, they got this, a real man would do this, a real man would take care of his kids. No, a real man, that's a father. Father take care of his kids.
Come on.
A real man won't cheat on his husband. I'll cheat on his wife. No, that's a husband. Mm-hmm. And God already give those titles. But for you that's hurt, because you didn't have a dad, okay, you're older now.
Amen.
You understand.
Amen.
You have wisdom. And if that person is still living, get your breakthrough today.
Amen.
Get that today. What if they don't want to hear from me? Write them a letter. Mm-hmm. Because the thing is, I'm getting it out.
Yes.
So whether they hear versus you talking to them verbally, or write it down.
Yeah. Okay.
Write it down. Send it in a message. Mm-hmm. You getting it out is delivering you and helping you.
Amen. Amen. And that's the obedience. So many times we miss it and then people pass on. It's like, I never got a chance. Time is now. Time is now.
You don't want to be talking to a tombstone.
Amen. Amen. The release, the man in the mirror, being broken to victorious, you shifted. And I have to go back to this moment because now pastor's being obedient to say, hey, I want you to come serve for me. Did you feel like you were worthy of it, or did you have to just say, this is a prayer answer? Oh, I'm a flow in this.
Yeah, it was a prayer answer, but I was like, hey, man, I'm still drinking. Mm-hmm. I'm still drinking, man. I'm still running the street. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, now I got to put on 2 different coats. Like, whoa, wait a minute. You know, but Pastor Hawkins, like, that embracing that he gave was like, you ain't gonna get it right. Mm-hmm. So you can't fix yourself. Mm-hmm. So man, all of that time just spending with him, I'm looking at, watching how he loves God. I'm like, oh wow. And so that came that out of body experience that I had. I sat there in Kroger and I saw this young man cussing up a stone. And I was like, well, that's how you sound.
Jesus.
And I remember my wife prayed, said she's gonna pray the taste of alcohol out my mouth. And you got, man, I'm telling you, man, it was 2 times I drank. It was by myself and went out with somebody. Mm-hmm. That was all the time.
Jesus Christ.
I drunk all the time. And I never threw up. I never threw up. And it was just this one time, man, I was drinking and it tasted so bitter. It was the most nastiest taste. And I'm like,
the prayers of the righteous.
And then I threw up.
Come on, Toya.
And I was like, man, something ain't right. And I just, like, I don't want, and I remember her telling me that. I like, man, hey, there's a God.
What you say, you and what God?
Yeah, you and what God.
She let you know that.
Yeah.
And that was that holy boldness that, okay, yeah. I'm going to pray that. I know she said it was her attitude.
Yeah.
God was backing her up.
Oh, she's sassy. That's what my daughter's here for.
That's what you love about her.
Yeah.
That is such a blessing, and somebody needed to hear that. You know, don't give up on your husband. Don't give up. They don't have to be perfect. Yeah. You know, just stick with them, pray them through, and be there as a great support.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely. And I love my wife. So now I'm a real advocate for women.
Yeah.
Because one thing that I never want my wife or my daughter to be, oh, that's James Trippler's wife. Mm-hmm. Or that's LaChana Tripler dad. Mm-hmm. Or that's Lyrics. No, no, I want women, because I watch my mom and I see so many other women having to live in the shadow of that man.
Yeah.
And I look at it like this, man. God didn't give me a woman to be my backbone. Gave a woman to be my side piece.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus, right there with you.
Because he pulled from the side.
Yes.
And so I need my wife to be right there by my side. Yeah. I don't need her behind me. I understand the support.
Left behind.
Yeah. I don't want her to feel like I'm dragging her. Mm-hmm. I want to walk together.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
And so when we walk together, man, we can agree, and then we can move mountains together.
Amen. It's just beautiful to see the both of you all publishing this book, Husband and Wife.
Right.
You know, I think you all are the only husband and wife that's in here. That's historic right there. Mm-hmm. I mean, literally historic. On any given day, when she's having a bad day, what words of affirmation or how do you speak to her spirit to lift her?
Well, now, when my wife having a bad day, I listen to her. And when she going, because I'm kind of, you know, I'm, oh, baby, sweetheart, if you're all right. I'm not there. I'm like, hey.
That's right.
You know, I'm a little tough with it. So, and sometimes she might get upset, but she'll come back and be like, baby, you're right. And I don't just go, but I tell her, because, you know, I want her to understand that, you know, in life, we're going to go through some things, but I tell her so much. Mm-hmm. Now I listen to her, I tell her so much, and especially when she's at work. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I already told you about this. Yeah.
You know, just listen.
Yeah.
Just listen.
And that's probably one of my words is that you not listen to me, girl. No, I'm just playing.
Oh my God. You two are truly a power couple. Yeah. But just to know I guess you could say the history and to know the testimony of you came in because there was a sanctified wife in the home that didn't give up on you, that was praying for you. Yeah. And here you are now, an elder, you know, serving faithfully, phenomenal business, author now. Just when you look at where you were and where you are now, what word comes to your mind when you think about that God that you said, who and what God?
Man, grace. Mm-hmm. That was grace. That was grace over my life.
Amen. Wow.
God has graced me because I'm telling you, I hadn't even told the stories. Mm-hmm. Man, I supposed to be locked up in prison. Mm-hmm. I done stuff that I done got away with attempted murder. Mm-hmm. I done got away with that. There's some stuff that I've done that I supposed to be locked up.
My God.
Or dead. Mm-hmm. I done had bullets flying over my head. Mm-hmm. So that innocent time.
My God.
That wouldn't do that. Yeah, I supposed to be, that was grace. Jesus. That was the grace of God because I got purpose. Mm-hmm. I have a purpose in life. And man, I just thank God, because that's why I don't badge nobody who gets locked up or I don't badge them, because that was just a person that got caught.
Yeah.
I didn't get caught. That don't mean I did some bad stuff. I didn't get caught. So I don't even say mistakes. I made bad decisions.
Yeah.
But God graced me.
Amen.
Graced me.
And now you're using it as a youth pastor to help save somebody else's child and let them know what's in the streets, the do's and don'ts. That's the blessing of it, when God gives us that grace that we don't take credit for it ourselves, but he says, now run and tell it. Yeah. And that's what you do there, serving, the young people, not even just at the church, in the community. I mean, I've seen that with you and your wife, and the things that you all do, because sometimes when you're in the church, I call it arena, you don't know because you're in a bubble. So somebody has to be able to inform you of what the expectations are, what weed is, you have to be able to communicate with them on a level that they can recognize and say, oh, I want to be a part of that.
Right.
So what has been, I guess you could say, the one thing that you knew, or one time you knew God was really with you when you began to walk with him, you've gotten saved, you're on the straight and narrow. What was that one time yeah, God with me, I'm going to walk this purpose?
Oh, man, my first sermon, preaching my first sermon, I knew that this was what I was supposed to be doing.
Wow.
I knew that this is the journey, and I didn't have to be like nobody else. I knew that this was it. I found my purpose, and I knew God was with me all through those years. I knew there was a hedge of protection around me. And one thing that I knew, my mama prayed for me. My mama prayed for me.
Amen.
And so I knew at that moment when I delivered my first sermon, God was with me.
Jesus.
I knew.
Wow. What was the title?
I
shouldn't have asked. It's a right at the tip of your tongue.
Yeah, I came from Daniel. Daniel.
Well, when you think about Daniel himself, he stood on the word.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. And when you're walking with God, you can't be deterred by what you see or what you hear. You got to know him for yourself.
Right.
And having that true intimate relationship with Christ. Right. I can't leave. I got a minute and some going, but I can't let you leave without just sharing some things in regards to parents. Some things they need to be on the lookout for with their young people, their youth, their children. Because there's so much drugs, alcohol, gangs. There's so much that they can, with this cell phone, cyberbullying, so much sex trafficking they can get into, and parents won't even be aware of it. So just help them out so they'll be informed and in the loop of what's going on.
Man, you have to parents, I pray that you pay attention to your child. Pay attention to their moods and what they're going through. And when they get out of school, ask questions. Ask those questions. But most of all, I'm telling you, don't delete yourself from what's going on in the world. And don't be afraid to talk about the things of drugs, sex.
Yes.
You can't be afraid of that because you was a child too.
Amen.
Because if you don't talk to them about it, somebody at school gonna talk to them about it. And you don't want that. That when you got another 13-year-old or 14-year-old introducing it to them and that's their first time hearing about it, now that person has influence over that particular topic.
Amen.
So you want to catch it at that moment. You want to be the person of influence. Now, I always tell parents that don't lose the influence of your child.
Amen.
You want to be that person of influence.
And having that open communication.
Open communication.
That's so important. Even though they may say, don't react, just act. I remember when Trinity, she would always get me when I was driving. Because she knew I couldn't react. If I reacted, we was going to be in a car accident. She would come up with, Mama, so I'm like, I want to say, so you thinking about that? But I couldn't. I'm like, oh, well, let's just talk about it when we get home. Well, what are your thoughts about it now? And I'm like, God, please don't let me overreact because she'll never talk to me about it.